Hurricane Sam is a dangerous Category 4 hurricane. Hello, I'm Mike Naso with this late night Saturday, early Sunday, midnight update on the tropics. Hurricane Sam is quite the monster. Thankfully, it looks like it's going to stay out to sea, but look at it out there. Tiny little thing, but very dangerous. The Air Force went out there. We flew a NOAA plane. We got Kermit. We got Miss Piggy. Miss Piggy flew into Hurricane Sam and discovered some interesting things that we don't normally see in hurricanes. I'll tell you about that. You can see Sam sitting there in the central Atlantic. We had Teresa, subtropical storm Teresa, which is all gone here, and then what's left of Peter blowing up here to the southeast of Bermuda. Rose is no longer even a factor. So let's talk about Sam, because that is the main game in town. Here is the latest as of 11 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time from the Hurricane Center. It was at 13.5 north, 49.0 west, winds of 145 miles per hour. It's a very powerful Category 4, moving west-northwest at 8. About 943 millibar pressure. As a comparison, Hurricane Ida, when it hit Louisiana in August, was 150 miles per hour and 930 millibars. So Hurricane Ida was stronger than this. That was quite the epic monster for Louisiana. Those are rarer than you would think. But nevertheless, a Category 4 hurricane expected to maintain major hurricane strength all the way through Thursday, taking a track like that. And you can see the forecast has edged a little bit to the right, and the computer model guidance is encouraging. It appears now that we will have enough troughiness. Remember, we're in fall now. It's getting to be that time of year, that the ridge of high pressure will erode enough to allow Sam to find a weakness and slip out. However, it is too soon to tell if Bermuda will have a direct impact, and we still have to keep an eye on it. We have some synoptic airplanes flying in there, checking out the environment ahead of Sam, just to make sure. But we seem to have pretty good agreement that this is going to miss the islands, miss the Bahamas, and miss the United States. And that is good news, because it is a very powerful major hurricane. What do I mean by a Category 4? Right now, Sam is right about in here. That is capable of devastating to catastrophic damage. Within that eye wall is where you have those devastating winds. Now here's the water vapor imagery. Now what the Hurricane Hunter aircraft found, Miss Piggy, when she flew out into the hurricane, found out that, number one, it was a Category 4, like the satellite suggested. It was very, very tiny, and the pressure was low. However, they discovered winds, almost tornado-like features near the eye wall, with the winds moving in the opposite direction. So if you expect a wind to be moving to the west in a hurricane, it was moving to the east. That implies that there are mesovortices, or almost like little tornadoes within the eye wall. A very, very weird hurricane, very dangerous. Now the good news is, here's Barbados, here are the islands here, and the hurricane continues on that trajectory right towards the west-northwest, but that should keep that core of devastation away from land. And you can see on that water vapor, there's a lot of this dry air surrounding it, and small hurricanes can spin up and down very quickly. And if you notice on this, Sam is a little bit flat here. There is a little bit of wind shear coming in, not a lot, but a little bit, and Sam almost looks like he's getting squeezed there. So we might see it peak out in intensity. Thank goodness, hope so. It's a Category 4 already. You can see that even better on the infrared satellite. You can see it's looking a little bit more, a little bit lazy, not quite as hot looking as it was about 6 to 8 hours ago. So again, I'm not trying to belittle a 145 mile an hour Category 4. I mean, if this eye wall was over West Palm Beach, forget about it. But it's not. It's out in the open Atlantic, over approaching 50 west and 15 north. And so really, with the exception of shipping, nobody's going to be impacted. But again, within that eye, very, very dangerous conditions with this Category 4 storm. Teresa, we hardly knew you. At 5 p.m., the Hurricane Center killed you off. You were at 34.4, 64.3 as of 5 p.m., and the winds were 35. It was moving east at 5. Dissipated, not going to have to deal with it. You can see on the satellite, you're going, oh, well, Teresa looks interesting. This is actually what's left of Peter. This is actually Peter that petered out the other day. What's left of Teresa is this naked spin over here that we're not dealing with anymore. So Teresa's naked, Peter's peaked out, Rose, I think this is what's left of her, or maybe up here. Rose is gone, and so the only feature is our Category 4 Hurricane Sam, and definitely a tiny little storm in the overall Atlantic. We might see something get going from this tropical wave here we're going to watch and see, and also this wave leaving Africa. It's almost getting to be that time to where we quit looking to Africa for development, and we start looking to the Caribbean Sea. And so we're going to watch that very carefully as time goes on. I did want to note in the Western Pacific, we have a typhoon. I don't cover this a lot, but look at this monster typhoon here, well to the east of the Philippines and to the south of Hawaii. This is Typhoon, what the heck's his name? Mindul. This is Typhoon Mindul. It's a Category 5 with winds of 160 miles per hour, and it is forecast to remain a very dangerous storm as it moves on out. However, you could see only some of the islands here. This is Okinawa over here. They shouldn't be anywhere near the cone, but look at how monstrous this is. Take a look at this satellite loop. Now that is a scary looking thing. That thing would eat Sam. So this is a very dangerous typhoon. It looks to be drifting almost due north, which is good news. It should stay away from land. So that'll do it on the tropics. We're going to continue to watch the monster called Sam, but as of right now, Sam's monstrous condition should stay out at sea. We'll keep an eye on it. Teresa, no longer a problem, and that mad typhoon in the Pacific, hopefully staying away from land. So the tropics are active, but not for land masses right now. I'm Mike Naso, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Stay tuned.